the motors are kind of cantered inward, which is extremely different from what I'm used to seeing. People are probably looking at this right now as like, are those like cockeyed? Are they leaning in? Yes, that is not an optical illusion. They are leaning in.
So the idea is to mount the hydrofoil between the sponsons, not to completely lift the boat out of the water, but instead just to provide some additional lift, reducing drag, which is what gets you great efficiency.
Yeah, that's why we're getting 1.7 right now, going 40 mile an hour with a 20 knot headwind.
Sometimes you don't get to pick the days you're gonna go out and fish, right? If you got a boat that can handle some nasty chop and not feel like you're, bedridden the next day, then it goes a long way, right? How's it going, guys? Nick from INSETTA Boatworks here. Today we're on one of our INSETTA 35IFCs. She's a hydrofoil assisted catamaran, 35 foot long with a 10-foot 8 beam, powered by twin 300 V8 Mercuries. Today we're gonna go for a sea trial.
This is an extremely smooth ride right now. So far I'm really impressed.
We're doing 1.75 right now.
This feels pretty good.
Yeah, check that one.
All right, so we're getting 1.75, 1.8. Running, how fast are we running right now?
Almost 40. 39.
So 40 miles an hour, getting 1.8 in a 35-foot boat powered with twin 300s. So to me, in my mind, I would think this is underpowered, but it ain't.
Yeah, the hydrofoil reduces so much of the drag that you're able to propel this. It's a heavy boat. It's almost 13,000 pounds.
Wow.
So thanks to the hydrofoil,
so how much
extra lift, you're good.
How much fuel's in the boat right now?
Right now we've got about 44% fuel, so that's roughly 240 gallons of fuel.
So you got 240 gallons, so that's a couple thousands of pounds of extra weight added to it.
Yes, sir.
You got an 11-foot beam, 35-foot boat. Is it truly 35 or is it 34? It's 35 foot.
38 LOA with the motor.
38 LOA, that's with the motors. And we're running 40 miles an hour, getting 1.7.
In slop.
In slop.
And we haven't touched the wheel. It tracks. This is a true washing machine. I don't have autopilot on. I haven't touched the wheel. She tracks like no other catamaran. So I'm gonna do a turn. I'd like you to catch that.
Yeah.
Somebody dropped their hat. So
Here, take this. Y'all flip this over there.
Yeah. I'll just hold on to it like this, I guess.
Oh, you're turning for real?
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this thing doesn't turn like a cat.
No, it leans into the turn slightly, unlike most catamarans, which lean outward in turns, and it turns a lot sharper. The motors are slightly angled.
You're seeing this chop behind us. Look at this. I told you it wasn't going to be a walk in the park. This is exactly what people want to see when they do a sea trial. A lot of times you're getting like, 1, maybe 2 foot, light, calm winds, 8 to 10 second swell period. This is 2 footers at 1 second, blowing 20 knots.
Yeah, we don't sell boats when it's calm, that's for sure.
No, this is it right here.
It's just like the ideal conditions to take people out in to show what the boat can do.
Man, this is incredible. Go ahead and turn to the starboard side here. And you guys can see it. Oh my. That's pretty impressive.
At 35 miles an hour too.
That's unreal. Guys, we just took that turn at 35 miles an hour. I didn't feel it leaning. A lot of times if you're in, one of your competitors' boats that's a cat hull, you get a lot of lean. So you're doing a turn to starboard side, you got a lot of lean to the port.
Yeah.
And it kind of lifts up. like that feeling.
It's the symmetrical hull catamarans. They've got two identical shaped hulls, and so in turning, the characteristic of most of those hulls is to lean outward in a turn. So it feels unnatural, right? Like if I'm making a turn to port, why is the boat leaning out to starboard? Right. On this boat, we've got an asymmetrical hull, which means each sponson is different, right? A sponson's like this, and on the opposite side, the sponson is like this. And so those vertical sidewalls, coupled with the motors being slightly angled and a couple other key details in the design of the boat, allow it to turn and handle really, really nicely.
So who designed this? Are you guys the owners of the company? Are y'all engineers? Is everything designed in-house, or where did y'all guys get this? Where did you get the idea?
Yeah, the design for this originates, it goes way back to like the 70s or 80s in South Africa. The idea of hydrofoil assisting a boat instead of fully foiling. And so the idea is to mount the hydrofoil between the sponsons, not to completely lift the boat out of the water, but instead just to provide some additional lift, reducing drag, which is what gets you great efficiency.
Yeah, that's why we're getting 1.7 right now, going 40 mile an hour with a 20 knot headwind.
Yes, sir.
Can you pull her down for just a second?
You'd be calling the shots if it was a big Jeffrey show.
What do you suggest?
No, I just want to show you how good the boat is at rest. We have a lot of our characteristics. We get a dry ride from the foil lifting us at speed, but when the boat rests, so you're fishing, you're not 6-8 feet off the water. You're nice and steady, and it makes a difference when you're out here on the water all day. We're in right now a swell with a 2-foot chop on top, and the boat.
I mean, they can probably see it on the camera.
Yeah, the boat.
Quite a bit of lift in the background.
I mean, the
someone's gonna say it's like 1 foot.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
Here's the thing: you can never, in a video picture, I can show you a video yesterday right now on my boat, and you'll be like, "Yeah, right."
What we need is they need a big American flag out there that's straight out, so you can see. But yeah, I mean, we've got our stability is pushed out because it's an asymmetrical hull. The foil actually kind of limits your bounce in the water, and it's pretty stable. No tricks, just most catamarans are very stable at rest.
Yeah, we just have more of our buoyancy forced to the outsides of the boat being an asymmetrical hull. So spread your buoyancy out, it'll give you a little bit more stability.
So a lot of people would be boat, not necessarily boat people. We got all kind of people. A lot of armchair quarterbacks that are armchair captains watching the video right now, and they're going to be like, yeah, well, that's truly not a side sea, and you know, that's just wind chop, and it's still rocking quite a bit. I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty impressed. I don't even know what else to say.
I guess we should have brought rods and stuff.
I mean, we can go to the rigs. I got the numbers right here in my phone. Obviously, if you guys can look out here, it's not doing it any justice at all, and that's just how it is on the water. You know, I can be in 6-footers and people think it's 2 foot, but this is truly, I don't know, I'd say 2 to 3 foot washing machine coming from every direction. We got a 15 to 20 mile an hour wind coming out of the northwest, and it's just the optimal conditions for a sea trial.
Yeah,
this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, when I think sea trial, I try to be practical. I want the real life environment. I want to see how it's going.
Right. You want to know what's going to happen when you get caught in this stuff.
Exactly.
You know.
That's why I stepped up to the boat that I'm in now. I feel safe.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a big part of it is like, you know, a lot of guys are fair weather fishermen. They're not going to go out and pick a day like this to go fishing, but that doesn't mean that a storm can't blow up and put you in stuff like this. And a big reason why people move up to boats of this caliber is not because they want to go faster or have more space or whatever. It's simply a safety thing. And so, you know, to have the stability and all the other perks is nice, but knowing at the end of the day that you and your family, your buddies, whoever's on the boat are safe no matter what happens. Home, it's a big deal for people.
So is this boat sinkable?
You'd have to try really hard. Technically, it's not Coast Guard unsinkable, right? You have to have a certain amount of foam in the boat to do that.
Right.
And for us, we would have to get rid of the forward storage and fill those completely with foam to be legally considered unsinkable. The boat is cored with materials that do float, and also boats by nature are actually quite hard to sink unless you put a valve up in the bow of the boat.
Right.
Which is what
you might capsize it or something. You're gonna have a little cap floating.
Yeah, but yeah, you'll get air pockets stuck in the boat, so it'd be real hard to sink. By Coast Guard standards, we're not technically unsinkable.
I certainly don't want to try it out, but there's a sense of security and like peace, you know, that you feel when you're on a boat for one this size and something that's this wide and like beefy.
Yeah.
It just feels like an absolute tank cutting through this chop. And I know we talked a lot about the foil and stuff like that, but how does that actually work?
Well, so I mean, the boat is not, there's a couple of ways to achieve efficiency in a boat, right? And you can build an extremely light catamaran, big tunnel, funnel a bunch of air through there, and you can have a pretty efficient boat. However, when you go light on those materials, that's when you're going to experience the shuddering, the shaking, the noisy hull and all that. We don't build our boat like that. We get our efficiency from the hydrofoil, which imagine it as an airplane wing that's simply creating lift, and it's creating that lift, reducing the amount of hull in the water, which is reducing drag, and that's where we're getting our efficiency. And so we don't sacrifice when it comes to the weight of the boat or how robust we build it. So
Or how we put it together.
Yeah, we build the thing extremely robust. I mean,
so if somebody were to run this thing aground, how deep is the? I've seen it's got like a 24-inch beam. How does that even? Or not a beam, a 24-inch draft. How do you draft 24 inches with a foil?
The foil barely protrudes beneath the bottom of the hull, so the sponsons are here, and your foil comes down just a little bit lower than that. And at the end of the day, if you're going in extremely shallow water, you're going to dig your bow sponsons in or your lower units of your motors.
Gotcha. So there's
a lot of foiling cats are trying to lift the boat out of the water. We are not trying to lift the boat out of the water. We're just getting an assist. So we're keeping, I mean, the foil's under us at our CG, and we're keeping the boat still in the water. We're just getting that lift benefit.
Gotcha.
So the boats that fly, that's why they crash. If you've seen any of the racing stuff or any of the
Zip Zap Power's got a video out every day of somebody going airborne in what should be a boat that's turned into a rocket ship.
Yep. So we're just getting the assist. So that's what helps. We've got twin motors, twin 300s, push this boat like an absolute beast.
So is that initially? Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Initially, I was thinking there is no way that twin 300, 600 horsepower is going to push a 35-foot boat with an 11-foot beam. Unless it's going 30-mile-an-hour top speed and it's getting 8.8 to 1 mile to a gallon at cruise.
Yeah, we're just you've got so much less boat in the water from the additional lift that you get from the hydrofoil, and so you don't need as much horsepower to get the boat moving. And so it's, like I said, to achieve our efficiency, we don't have to build it light. We build it heavy. It's a 12.5, 13,000 pound boat, dry. And with that hydrofoil creating that additional lift is where we get the magic, you know?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So for the people that got questions about the motors that are kind of like canted in or whatever, like what is that? Did you do that on purpose?
Well, our installer's got a lazy eye, and so when he went to go put it on, one was cockeyed, and so he just made the other one the same.
I'll straighten them up. They're going to be twins.
Yeah, so it's we angle them by 6 degrees, and the reason is so we get clean water right off the bottom of the hull to the props to prevent any ventilation or cavitation. You've also got an insane vortex coming through the center of the boat with that hydrofoil, which can ventilate the water a little bit, and so we don't want any of that ventilated water getting to the props either. So we slightly angle them outwards, clean water to the props. That's why she handles so well.
That's why when you turn, you're not turning down. It kind of comes up on that one where it's almost straight in the water.
Yeah, it's getting nice clean water. It's not blowing out. It's not cavitating. And yeah, it just provides some superior handling in comparison to a lot of other boats that feel a little uncomfortable when you're in those turns.
Man, that's awesome. Man, I appreciate y'all taking me out here. This has been quite an experience, and I'm definitely going to be watching for more of these to be out on the water locally, because I mean, this is such a brilliant design. I feel like, you know, if you're going to step up and you're going to buy a cat style boat, why not buy an INSETTA 35 with the hydrofoil assist? I mean, this thing is legit.
I'm probably biased, but yeah. Yeah, you should get one.
Yeah,
but
you should buy one.
Man, for the conditions that we are in, this thing is so smooth. It is pretty cool. It's insane. Because we're like almost floating on top of the...
Well, you got so much more lift out of it, so your tunnel height's clearing a lot more of these waves as well.
Wow.
You're just riding a lot higher.
Man, that is a tight turn. Look at that. Look at that. You guys see that? Look how tight that turn is. Oh my. Look at that turn, guys. So if you run this faster, I know it's designed for like comfortability and, you know, economy and stuff like that. If you got somebody that likes to run it fast, what's the, is there a,
You can cavitate the foil, you just won't be as efficient.
gotcha. So the foil starts to cavitate. What's the top speed on this?
This boat will do about 58. We've got a couple 300 boats that can do around 62.
Oh man, we're moving now.
Yeah, so she'll get up there, she'll go pretty quick.
Phew. I was gonna say I should have brought my seatbelt, but I feel pretty safe.
Thank God.
Oh my! We're just running 48 miles an hour. And I know it's got more in it, but that's pretty impressive. If you can. Man, I'm sold.
That's how I
I'm gonna
know.
be straight up with the people. This is probably the smoothest riding boat I've been on in a very, very long time. The only smoother ride would be a 47 Freeman because it's like a freaking barge.
That's a
Okay?
pretty good comparison.
It
I'll take
also-
that.
It's a beautiful barge, bro.
It also gets like half a mile to the gallon. So that's not even practical. For the person that is looking to be stepping their game up, maybe they got a wife like mine that doesn't let me fish every time I want to go. So if you're like me, you're like, fine, if it's 2 to 4s, 3 to 5s, I'm going anyway. We might die, but we're going. This boat can absolutely handle it. So if somebody's looking for you guys or this vessel, whether they're going to do a sea trial or hopefully purchase it, I feel like I'm sold on this thing. If I could afford it, I'd be buying one right now. So, like,
We appreciate that.
I'm cutting a check, right? This thing is legit. I've been on a lot of boats, done a lot of sea trials, shot a lot of videos. This right here is taking the cake.
Yeah, well, we didn't pay him to say that either.
No.
Just got to get that out there.
This is not a paid announcement.
This is not a paid announcement or a paid sea trial. I literally hit them up and I'm like, hey, y'all want to reject your ride? They're like, all right, hop on.
We're like, let's go. But yeah, so we sell our boats factory direct. There are no dealerships or anything like that. Jeffrey and I travel around southeastern United States to show the boat off at private demo events. So if you're on our email list or if you follow us on social media, you'll get the invites to that. We also do a couple shows a year. We'll be at Miami next year for sure. And we're gonna start to do a couple more shows around. But you can reach out to either me, my name's Nick, so Nick at INSETTA,
Jeffrey,
or Jeffrey at INSETTA.com, or sales at INSETTA.com, or hit our website, which is INSETTA.com, and you can submit a form, and we'll get in touch with you.
What's the name of it?
Of what?
You said it 8 times.
Oh yeah, INSETTA.com.
Sweet, guys. Well, I appreciate it. I hope all of our fans did as well.
Yeah.
And if you guys are...
Thanks for going for a ride. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
INSETTA.com, yeah.
INSETTA.com. We'll see y'all there at INSETTA.com.
INSETTA.com.
All right, we're gonna do a quick walk around on the 35 INSETTA. This thing is absolutely insane. It's blown me away here today. You wanna show us around the boat real quick?
Yeah. In the cockpit of the boat, so you've got your live wells under here, under these rear seats. They're 40 gallons, they're pressurized at the top. Down here in your bilge access, you'll see the pump box that powers them. You've also got 2 bilge pumps down there as well. Easy access, large access. Other side, we've got, I think he's got a rear anchor in here. This is a customer's boat, and you've got a transducer as well. Can't really see much because of that anchor that's sitting in there, but you've got 2 more bilge pumps in there. You can do whatever you want. If you have kids, you're probably wondering why this isn't enclosed and how your kids are just gonna fall out, but we've got an enclosure for this. You could do an acrylic insert, you could do a door. It's totally up to you, as is the setup back here, so you can do a big robust dive ladder if you like to scuba dive or anything like that. Or you could keep it clean and clear. You know, you're going high-speed wahoo fishing, just drag them right up the center. It's up to you. You've got one of the most important parts on the boat, which is the cooler. You can also plumb that to be another live well if you wanted to. Got it stocked up with beverages. And then you've also got a little...
Is that refrigerated or does that take ice?
It takes ice. Okay. Drop down tackle and rigging station right here. You can customize these to be whatever types of storage you want. You've also got more storage for tackle around the sides of the boat. JL audio system all the way around. You got your Plano boxes, leader storage, drawers, 3 wide helm seat in here. You can choose whatever type of electronics you want around the boat. This particular boat has 22-inch Garmin's. You got your Mercury JPO joystick steering system with the skyhook setup, JL audio around the boat, wireless phone chargers up here, over here, little cutouts so you can put your phone so they're not going flying anywhere. More speakers. You got your fish boxes. Both sides are identical. You could fit me inside here. You could probably fit Big Dan inside here as well. Got a storage box here. Same thing on the other side. Fender storage, put your bean bags, whatever. We also put the macerator pump here. So anything below deck is going to be macerated directly overboard. We also tie in the black water tank for the electric flush head right here. So you can pump that directly overboard offshore. You've got your big old coffin box lounger here, so very comfortable spot for everyone to hang out. Also, massive amount of storage. It's insulated with high density foam, so you could use it for ice storage. Toss your tuna in here, your wahoo, whatever. Totally up to you. You've got another storage box up here that's also insulated. Moving up to the bow. You've got a monstrous windlass here that's mounted to a stainless plate that's glassed into the backside, so you can't rip it out even if you try. It's also got a tube up in there, so you can't even beat up the boat. We try to make things as, you know, robust as possible, so you're not going to destroy your boat. And then this particular boat's got the Rodan trolling motor, which has been a very popular option for the guys in the Gulf, not having to deal with anchoring up and all that. So yeah, I believe that is about it. Thanks for watching The Big Dan Show.